If you're new here, my name is Ashley Howard with Ashley Howard Teaches, and today I want to tell you about some history homeschool curriculums that we have used in our family, and I will tell you the pros and cons of each, and also what we plan to use next year, and some living books that we have enjoyed also. If you're new here and you haven't heard, I have a Etsy shop, yes, with some fun homeschooling things, so you can check that out in the description below. It's at Farm Fresh Shop. So let's get started. First, I want to tell you about Story of the World. Story of the World was the first history book that was recommended to me, and it is very popular in the homeschool community. You've probably heard of it. If you haven't, it's written by Susan Wise Bauer. She's the one that wrote The Well-Trained Mind, a very classical centered curriculum. So the pros on this curriculum were that it read like a story. It is not that dry textbook that you read in school with just facts around and without a lot of fun and excitement. Man, you feel like you're on the journey with them in this book. And that was one huge pro. I never had to beg my kids to read history. They enjoyed it so much. In fact, we would reread chapters and just enjoy that time together. So I also love that they have an activity book that you can purchase alongside of it. One of the very first homeschool history events that we did was to create an archaeological dig where we mapped it off and we put treasures inside. And as my child was in kindergarten, my first homeschooler, we so enjoyed those fun memories of making learning hands-on. So I will tell you, there's a lot of hands-on elements. It's story written, and so it makes it enjoyable. It's very classical. However, we did have some cons with this curriculum, some big glaring cons. And my first con was that there was too much talk about idols and idol worship without enough of redirecting it back to Christ. So I really want my kids to learn to love the Lord, and I want their history to be based on that too. While we love this curriculum, we decided to let it go because we wanted to make sure our kids were focused and grounded on the Lord before anything else. My other con to this curriculum is that you can buy the audio version, which is great. You can buy the audio version of each of these books. The problem with that is when you get to some different sections, there is a lot of violence in history, right? We have wars, we have people who die, and a lot of it was very detailed and too much for young minds. I felt like the visual images that they would come with their heads would be too much and too overwhelming for them at such a young age. So I want to do a quick flip through a Story of the World. So I will show you some of the words. You have a lot of words here, but it is very engaging with the storytelling. So there's not a lot of images in this book. There are some, but not a ton. You've got a few here and there. So it really reads more like a storybook, not like a picture book. So this is Story of the World. And now I will move on to our second curriculum that I'm reviewing, and that is Notgrass History. So Notgrass History has some different curriculums within Notgrass History. So the first one that we started with was Our Star-Spangled Story. And this is geared for your younger elementary kids. And this one was really cute. There were some really things that I just so enjoyed about this. So I will do a quick flip through as I talk. The Star-Spangled Story has a great little workbook that goes along with it. I will show you some of these. You have a lot of drawing, a lot of coloring, very sweet. This is the younger version, remember, so very young. Draw people or write a paragraph. I love that it gives the option of you can draw or you can write, because I have some people who in my family who love to draw, and I have some people that is the worst thing to ask of them. So for us, giving the option of drawing or writing is a huge plus. So as you can see, there's some fill in the blank, very low key, very fun, very sweet, not a lot of pressure here. So this is the activity book that comes with it, the student workbook that comes with My Star-Spangled Story. So here is the book, Our Star-Spangled Story. This is part 2. There's a part 1 also. And I will do a quick flip through. We have a lot of images here, a lot more than the Story of the World. They're very pretty. These books are beautiful books. And that is why why I wanted to love them so much. And so our Star Spangled Story is the second curriculum that I'm going to review along with From Adam to Us. These are both part of the Notgrass history curriculum. I love Notgrass in the fact that they have beautiful books. All of the images inside are beautiful. They're not afraid to put beautiful pictures inside their books, and I love that. I think that older kids enjoy that too. They love seeing vivid pictures and getting to enjoy them. So I will give you an example. So here's Neil Armstrong walking on the moon. We have a lot of images throughout this book. So if you are looking for a curriculum that is very much Christ-focused, that is very detail-oriented, and reads more like a textbook that you would see in school, this is a great option for you. So I want to show you real quick the other books, the higher level books. So here is From Adam to Us, and this is the first of the two books. And I will say my huge pro about this curriculum is that the images are beautiful. I think that they have a lot of detail. They really focus on the Lord. Those things are wonderful. My biggest con of this curriculum is that it was very dry. I got bored. My kids were bored. And if I needed a curriculum, and this is the one I could get my hands on, I think it's a great curriculum for that. It really goes through history. It meets the marks and the goals. But I would say my kids did not enjoy it. They did not want to do history. They were not excited about it. And while we grudged through it, and while I thought the books were beautiful and so worth it, and the price is wonderful, they didn't enjoy it. And that was a huge pitfall for me. I really wanted them to like this curriculum. I really did, and they just didn't enjoy it. So I had to move on, but let me do a flip through for you. As you can see, we have Bible verses. We have beautiful pictures. They really go into detail about all the history. They relate it back to the Lord. So I really don't have anything but good things to say about this curriculum, except for that my kids just did not enjoy going along for this journey with them. So Notgrass also has some activity pages for this level as well. So it's a great curriculum, but just not for us. So I will leave you with our last curriculum that we really enjoyed, which was from Masterbooks. So I'm so excited to bring to you my absolutely favorite history curriculum. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know I am a huge fan of all things Masterbooks. And I want to share with you today this curriculum, America's Story 1. Next year we'll be using America's Story 2, and I'm so delighted to be able to look at it. We have not ordered it yet, but I cannot wait to see it. So America's Story 1 combines all the things about Story of the World that makes it written like a story, that makes it fun and enjoyable. And it combines Notgrass's rich, detailed information and the pictures, and it puts it into one wonderful curriculum. So for me, that met our need. It focuses on the Lord. It's told in a story format. It has beautiful pictures within this curriculum, and it has an activity book. Now, we have 5 kids, and we have one under 2 and one 3. So our homeschool sometimes looks a little crazy. We have one trying to climb on the table and one running off. So there are things that we don't always get to. I would have loved to have gotten to this activity book. But that's what I want to tell you is don't feel discouraged when you miss out and you forget to do a curriculum. Please don't let that set you back. Just know that God has you in this time and in this season for a reason. To let it go and to focus on Him, and the fact that that distraction of that 3-year-old needing to go potty and the baby trying to climb on the table is exactly where God wanted you in this moment, to show patience and kindness and gentleness, not to just get through that curriculum. I get stuck in that rut. I'm like, I have to get through this. But God says, no, right now I need you to show patience and kindness to those toddlers and model that for your kids, what it looks like to have a distraction and how to handle it in a Christ-like manner. So I just want to give you that little tidbit real quick. So America's Story, let me flip through for you. So we see images that are beautiful. We see very detailed accounts of history. We have lots of different different maps that are included in this curriculum. So as I flip through, you can see all the different things. Now I will tell you, my kids loved history. It may have been their favorite thing this year. That is all they wanted to do. And all I've heard before is how they don't want to do history. So this is a huge win for us. And I'll flip through the activity book because I love to see the inside of a curriculum. I don't know about you, but that's my favorite part about going to homeschool conferences is flipping through curriculum. So here we go. So here's our activity book. We have a lot of writing, art, sketching, dates, copy work, a lot of wonderful aspects to this. I really wish I would have used this year, but I will be using it in the future with my younger ones, and I will be using it in America's Story 2 when we get that for next year. So real quick, I want to share with you some books that we have used to learn history in our home that are more of living Charlotte Mason type books. So for living history books, we love Squanto. This was a great book. It's a Charlotte Mason type book where you read along the story. It's not just facts, but you really walk alongside and learn about Squanto, his childhood, how he grew up. You learn about his perseverance, overcoming hardships. It's a great book. So I also love the Who Was series. There's so many books on this one where you can learn about different people in history, and it gives them a detailed account. The kids love them. They're very informative, but light enough where they can enjoy it. I'll just do a quick flip through real quick, and you can see not a lot of words on the pages, a lot of pictures. It's just a fun way to integrate history into everyday. Maybe in your morning basket, you could use some of these books. We also love a picture book of series. There are tons of these. I did not know about these until later on. I would say they're geared for 1st through 3rd. Although if you have a 4th, 5th grader who wants to listen along, they're wonderful. They're very detailed. So what I love about these is not only are they good picture books and they're very interesting, but they also are very detailed. They don't lessen the load on these kids. They make it very informative and very sweet and interesting. So I'll show you real quick. Here is a picture book of Florence Nightingale. Here's a picture book of Benjamin Franklin. So as you can see, we have a lot of pictures, but we're really going through the dates and the times of year and just different facts about these people. So I love these sweet little books. They're wonderful for learning about different things in history, and they're very budget friendly. That's what I like too. So linked in the description below, I'm going to have a list of freebies for you. So there will be a list of history books that you can get, books that are fun, books that are enjoyable, Charlotte Mason type books that are just family fun history books where you can learn more together. Thank you so much for coming. Would you leave a comment below what your favorite history curriculum is, or maybe one that you've used before? I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much, and remember to be joyful always and live for Jesus. Thank you so much. I will see you next time.